Wealth does not begin in your hands, it begins in your mind. Before a single dollar touches your pocket, before a single opportunity knocks on your door, it is your thoughts that determine whether you are a magnet for abundance or a repellent to it. The difference between those who attract wealth and those who repel it is not luck, background, or even intelligence. It is thought. Thought is power. Thought is vibration. Thought is the original source of every result you see in the material world. You don't build an empire by accident, and you don't achieve financial freedom by drifting. It starts with an inner transformation, a shift in how you think, how you see yourself, and how you define what is possible. Most people think they need money to start thinking wealthy. But the truth is, you need to think wealthy before money will ever show up. This is the reversal most never grasp. They wait for results to feel powerful. They wait for signs to feel confident. They wait for something external to give them permission. But the magnetic force of wealth answers only to those who move first, believe first, act first, and think first. You are either attracting or repelling at all times, and your mind is the magnet. If you carry thoughts of lack, limitation, fear, and doubt, you are tuning your mind to scarcity. No matter what you do, that internal frequency will sabotage your efforts. But when you start thinking in terms of abundance, opportunity, courage, and faith, your entire internal environment changes. And what follows? The external begins to reflect it. Circumstances bend. People appear. Ideas come. That is not coincidence. It is alignment. This is not just theory or positive thinking. This is law. The law that governs cause and effect, the law that turns thoughts into things. The reason most never experience its power is because they treat their thoughts as casual, fleeting, and powerless. They allow negativity to nest in their minds. They speak defeat before they try. They believe in struggle more than they believe in success. And so they become magnets for more struggle, more hardship, more lack. But you are not here to think like most people. You are here to think like wealth itself. And wealth is precise. It does not drift. It does not doubt. It knows what it is. And when you train your mind to think from that same identity, deliberately, consciously, unshakably, you start to become wealth in human form. The magnet turns on. The pull begins. Everything you desire is already drawn to a frequency. If your mind is not tuned to it, you will never experience it. But if your thoughts match the level of what you seek, it becomes impossible for it to stay away. That is how powerful your thinking truly is, not in some far-off mystical sense, but in the day-to-day control of what you choose to believe, dwell on, and expect. You are always choosing, and that choice shapes your attraction. It is not about chasing money. It is not about forcing opportunity. It is about becoming the kind of thinker that money is drawn to. Quiet, focused, certain, purposeful. Wealth doesn't need to be chased. It needs to be aligned with. And that alignment starts in silence, in clarity, in the thoughts you allow to take root and grow. The greatest shift you will ever make is when you stop thinking like a victim of life and start thinking like a creator of it. That is the birth of the magnet. That is when everything begins to move. That is when wealth starts coming toward you, because now you're finally thinking like it. Belief is the root from which every form of wealth grows. Without belief, no plan can survive, no effort can truly flourish. You can work hard, you can hustle endlessly, but if deep down you don't believe you are worthy of wealth, it will never stay with you. The mind is always listening, and belief is not about wishful thinking. It is about inner certainty. It's the quiet, unshakable voice within that says, I deserve this. I am meant for more. I will have it no matter what. That belief becomes your fuel when no one claps for you, when no one sees your vision but you, when the outside world gives you every reason to give up. Belief keeps the engine running long after motivation dies. It keeps your eyes forward when everything around you is screaming for your attention. Most people don't lack ability, they lack belief. They've trained their minds to doubt, to question, to fear. They've heard no so many times that they've started saying it to themselves. They don't believe they can be wealthy because they've never been shown how, or because they've been told it's for others, not for them. But the truth is, belief is not given. It is chosen. You decide what to believe. You choose whether to live in a mindset of limits or in one of infinite possibility. And the mind, once it is convinced, will start to bend the world around your conviction. You'll begin to see opportunities where before there were only obstacles. You'll attract people, ideas, strategies, even luck. But it all begins with the belief that wealth is not just possible for you, it is inevitable. That belief must live in you before anything around you changes. You cannot fake it. You cannot borrow it. You must build it inside you, moment by moment, until it becomes your nature. Because when belief becomes identity, your path to wealth becomes unstoppable. Desire is the spark that ignites the fire of wealth, but not ordinary desire, an intense, burning desire that refuses to be ignored. The kind that wakes you up at night, that fills your thoughts during the quiet moments, that lives in your bones even when the world tells you to settle. Wealth never bows to half-hearted wishes. It doesn't answer to lukewarm ambition. It responds only to the one who is obsessed, who is consumed, who is relentlessly focused on turning thought into reality. This kind of desire cannot be taught. It must be discovered and nurtured within. It must become the reason you rise in the morning and the reason you don't give up at night. Too many people want wealth, but their desire is fragile. It crumbles when faced with resistance. It fades when the path becomes unclear. And so they fall back into comfort, into doubt, into waiting. But true desire never waits. It commands, it moves, it reshapes your thinking and sharpens your vision. It silences excuses and eliminates distractions. When your desire is deep enough, you no longer ask, how long will it take? You ask, what must I do next? That question becomes your compass. And as long as you keep following it, as long as you stay loyal to that inner hunger, wealth begins to move toward you, not because of chance, but because of force, your force. Desire is the emotional fuel that makes everything else possible. It gives life to belief. It gives power to thought. It gives momentum to action. Without it, you drift. With it, you dominate. So dig into your mind and ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what you think you should want, not what others expect of you, but what sets your soul on fire? Because once you find that, and you refuse to let it go, you become dangerous to every limitation and magnetic to every opportunity. That kind of desire is wealth's true beginning. Clarity is power. If you cannot define what you want, you will never attract it. The mind needs direction like a ship needs a compass. Without it, you drift endlessly, reacting to life instead of creating it. Wealth is precise. It does not arrive by accident. It is summoned by intention. You must know what you want, why you want it, and how it will feel when it is yours. Vague goals produce vague results. A person who says, I want more money, receives only fragments, because the command sent to the universe is unclear. But the one who states exactly how much, by when, and for what purpose, gives the mind a target to lock onto. And once the mind has a target, it begins to work silently, even when you're not aware, filtering out distractions, spotting opportunities, and pulling resources into your path. The wealthy do not just dream, they calculate, they decide in advance the life they are building. They write it, visualize it, speak it until it becomes real in the invisible, then inevitable in the physical. This is not fantasy. It is focus. It is the act of choosing your future with such intensity that no force can pull you away from it. When your vision is clear, your energy is concentrated. You no longer waste time chasing things that don't matter. You begin to say no to noise. You become selective with your time, your thoughts, your circle, because now everything is measured against the goal. Defining your desire sharpens your spirit. It awakens discipline. It creates urgency. You stop drifting and start moving with power. Your environment begins to bend around your decision, not because the world has changed, but because your mind has. You don't find wealth by luck, you build it with precision. So sit with yourself, write it down, speak it daily, etch your vision into your mind until it becomes your only option. Because the clearer your destination, the faster the journey begins. Wealth obeys clarity. The mind is a garden, and autosuggestion is the tool that plants seeds. Whatever you repeat to yourself, intentionally or unintentionally, takes root. This is not theory, this is reality. Every belief, every attitude, every dominant emotion you carry has been shaped by repetition. The words you say to yourself become the code your subconscious mind runs on. And that code determines your actions, your results, and ultimately your destiny. If you tell yourself you are broke, unlucky, or unworthy, your mind will accept it as truth and produce results that match. But if you speak wealth, confidence, and power into your mind daily, repeatedly, with emotion, your mind will begin to rewire itself to align with that message. That is the law of autosuggestion. You must become deliberate in what you feed your mind. Repetition is not weakness, it is mastery. The wealthy do not rely on motivation. They use autosuggestion like a weapon. Every morning, every night, they speak life into their vision. They affirm who they are becoming, not who they were. They plant thoughts of abundance, action, discipline, and certainty. And over time, those thoughts become reality because the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. It simply responds to emotion and repetition. So when you speak with power, feel your words, and repeat them with consistency, you are shaping your internal environment to reflect wealth. It is not enough to think positively once in a while. The mind must be trained, conditioned, reinforced. Autosuggestion is that training. It is your daily declaration of war against doubt, fear, and limitation. It is how you remind your mind who you are, what you believe, and what you're claiming from life. So write your affirmations, speak them aloud, close your eyes and visualize them as already done. Let that new identity soak into your bones, because once your subconscious accepts a thought, it begins the process of making it true. This is not magic, it's mental discipline, and those who use it with purpose become unstoppable forces, magnets for the very wealth they once only dreamed of. Faith is the unseen force that holds your vision together when nothing around you makes sense. It is not blind hope. It is not naive optimism. Faith is the decision to trust the process when your current reality offers no evidence. It is the ability to keep walking when the path disappears beneath your feet. Wealth does not come to the one who doubts. It is drawn to the one who believes before there is proof. Faith is what keeps your energy high when results are slow. It is what carries your thoughts beyond fear, beyond logic, and into the realm where creation begins. Because everything that is now visible was once invisible. Every building, every company, every fortune began as an idea that someone had the faith to pursue. Most people lose before they even begin, not because they lack talent, but because they lack faith. The moment resistance shows up, they question everything. They begin to retreat mentally, looking for signs, begging for guarantees, craving safety. But faith requires no guarantees. Faith is the guarantee. It is the internal certainty that says, I know this will happen, not because I see it, but because I've decided it will. That kind of faith changes how you walk, how you speak, how you make decisions. It gives your thoughts strength, your actions boldness, and your vision momentum. Without it, every setback feels like the end. With it, every setback becomes a stepping stone. You must train yourself to believe even when the bank account is low. You must act like a magnet even when you feel empty. Faith is what keeps you aligned with wealth because it keeps your thoughts elevated. And when your thoughts remain elevated, your energy remains magnetic. This is not just a mindset, it is a way of life, a mental discipline, a spiritual weapon. You must feed your faith more than your fear. You must nurture your belief more than your doubt, because faith is not passive, it is active. And when you walk with unwavering faith, wealth has no choice but to respond. Wealth follows those who possess specialized knowledge, not just information, not random facts, but deep, refined understanding of a particular field, skill, or craft. General education may earn you a living, but specialized knowledge is what builds empires. The world does not reward people for knowing a little about everything. It rewards those who know a lot about something valuable, those who go deep rather than wide, those who master a specific tool, strategy, or insight and apply it with precision. That's where power lives. That's where money flows, because in every industry, there is a top 1%, the elite who understand the game better than the rest, and they are the ones who command wealth, not because they're lucky, but because they've paid the price of mastery. You do not need to know everything to become rich, but you must know something exceptionally well. You must develop an area of strength that becomes your weapon. Whether it's sales, branding, investing, communication, innovation, leadership, whatever it is, you must own it. You must study it, apply it, fail with it, refine it, and rise through it. Wealth does not seek the passive learner. It seeks the relentless practitioner, the one who turns knowledge into power by execution, the one who doesn't just read but lives the principles they learn. That's the kind of mind wealth is drawn to, and here's the secret most people miss. Specialized knowledge doesn't have to come from formal institutions. It can come from books, mentors, online courses, experience, observation. The source doesn't matter, the application does. So stop waiting for permission to become an expert. Stop underestimating the value of what you already know. Choose your lane. Master your craft. Because when you become exceptional at solving a specific problem, people will pay you, seek you, and refer you. You become irreplaceable. And that is how wealth finds you. Not by accident, but because you've built a mind that commands it. Specialized knowledge is leverage. The more precise your expertise, the more powerful your position in the marketplace. Decision is the gatekeeper of all wealth. Without decision, there is only delay, hesitation, and regret. Every wealthy mind you admire has one thing in common. They decide quickly, and they stand by their decisions. They understand that indecision is a slow death. It kills dreams not with fire, but with silence. You cannot attract wealth while remaining mentally stuck in maybe. The universe does not move for the unsure. It responds to clarity, to commitment, to the person who plants their flag and says, "This is the direction I'm going." That decision alone begins to shift energy, people, and resources toward you, because once you choose, truly choose, your mind gets focused, your steps get faster, your excuses fade, and action becomes natural. Most people are not poor because they lack talent. They're poor because they couldn't decide. They waited for perfect timing. They waited until they were more confident, more educated, more comfortable. And in that waiting, they lost their momentum. They let opportunities pass because they didn't have the strength to say yes or the courage to say no. But those who attract wealth understand that a decision, even a wrong one, is better than none. Because every decision leads to movement, and movement leads to clarity. You don't find direction by standing still. You find it by walking forward. The wealthy understand the compound effect of decisions. Each decision creates a chain reaction. When you decide to act, to invest, to commit, you create new outcomes that didn't exist before. You open doors that hesitation would have kept locked. And even if the decision leads to a lesson instead of success, it still moved you forward. You learn, you adjust, you decide again, stronger, faster, better. That is how a wealth mindset works. It is not paralyzed by fear of mistakes. It is energized by movement. So train your mind to decide. Don't linger in confusion. Don't drown in options. Choose, commit, and move. Because the power to attract wealth begins the moment you stop asking for certainty and start acting with intention. Persistence is the silent force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, it is steady, quiet, and relentless. Wealth does not surrender to talent alone. It yields to those who refuse to quit, the ones who keep moving forward when others turn back, the ones who outlast resistance, discouragement, and failure. Every journey toward abundance will test you. You will be challenged. You will be ignored, misunderstood, and doubted. You will face moments where quitting looks logical, even necessary. But if your desire is real and your belief is unshakable, persistence will carry you through every wall meant to stop you. Most people give up not because they're incapable, but because they expect ease. They believe that if something is meant for them, it should be effortless. But the truth is, everything of value resists before it surrenders. Every great result demands a price, and persistence is the currency. It's easy to start. It's easy to be excited on day one. But wealth comes to those who show up on day 100 when there's no applause, no reward, and no visible progress. It comes to those who keep pushing when others say, "It's enough." Every time you continue after being knocked down, you gain power. You build resilience. You become a different kind of person, one who cannot be broken. Persistence transforms identity. It trains your mind to operate from a place of strength. Each time you persist, you prove to yourself that your vision matters more than your emotions, that your future matters more than your comfort. And over time, the compound effect of that mental discipline becomes undeniable. People will call you lucky, but they won't see the nights you kept going. They won't see the failures you walked through or the doors that slammed before one finally opened. But you will know. You will know that wealth came because you refused to back down. Persistence is not just a trait, it's a mindset, a weapon, a way of life. And when you make it your standard, wealth has no choice but to follow. No one builds wealth alone. The most powerful minds understand the value of alliance, of collaboration, of connection. This is where the principle of the mastermind becomes undeniable. When two or more minds come together in harmony, a third invisible force is created, a mind greater than the individuals. This synergy produces ideas, insights, and solutions that one person alone could never generate. Wealth is not just attracted by skill, it is multiplied by association. The people you surround yourself with either elevate your thinking or dilute it. They either sharpen your vision or distract you from it. This is why those who are serious about abundance are intentional about their circle. A mastermind is not just a group. It is a strategy. It's the act of linking yourself with other forward-thinking individuals who believe in growth, who live with ambition, and who hold you to a higher standard. When you consistently expose your mind to higher-level conversations, new beliefs begin to form, your standards shift, your expectations rise. Suddenly, what once seemed out of reach becomes normal, even small. That's the power of collective energy. It expands your mental limits. It introduces new perspectives, and it accelerates your journey. But the wrong associations can do the opposite. Negative voices, small minds, and passive people will slowly corrode your drive. They will plant doubt where you once had faith. They will make comfort look better than growth. And so, you must guard your environment like a fortress. You must seek out those who challenge you, not flatter you, those who push you forward, not hold you back. The wealthy are not only intelligent, they are connected. They form networks, not just friendships, alliances, not just conversations, because they understand that proximity to power breeds power. So align yourself wisely. Build your mastermind with intention, because when minds unite under a shared vision, the pull of wealth becomes unstoppable. The results are exponential. The momentum is real, and the climb becomes faster, higher, and more certain than anything you could ever build alone. Fear is the invisible enemy of wealth. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It creeps in quietly, disguising itself as logic, caution, and realism, but its mission is always the same, to stop you. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever could. It paralyzes the mind, distorts judgment, and convinces you to settle long before you've even tried. You cannot attract wealth while being led by fear, because fear is rooted in scarcity, and scarcity pushes opportunity away. The mind in fear closes. It tightens, it overthinks, overanalyzes, and eventually does nothing. But the wealthy think differently, not because they don't feel fear, but because they've trained themselves to act in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward anyway. Every breakthrough in wealth requires you to walk through discomfort, to speak when you want to stay silent, to invest when your mind wants to hold back, to take the risk, make the call, start the idea, because you know that the cost of inaction is greater than the cost of failure. Fear feeds off delay. It grows stronger the longer you wait, but action weakens it. The moment you move, the moment you decide, fear begins to lose power. And with each bold step, you build momentum. You teach your mind that fear is not a command, it's a suggestion. And suggestions can be ignored. Wealth respects the courageous, not the reckless, but the brave. The ones who dare to lead themselves beyond emotion, the ones who choose power over panic. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be disciplined. Fear may still be in the room, but you don't hand it the microphone. You take the lead. You remind yourself that the thoughts of fear are not facts. They're habits, and you can break them. When your thoughts are aligned with faith, with vision, with possibility, fear has no space to thrive. Train your mind to question fear, to confront it, to rise above it. Because once you do, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of them. That's when wealth begins to chase you. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you become The shift happens when you begin to think, act, speak, and move as if you already are the person who possesses it. This is not pretending, it's aligning. When your thoughts match the reality you desire, your actions follow. And when your actions align with that identity, results begin to mirror your internal world. Most people are waiting for success to arrive before they feel successful. They wait for money before they feel abundant. They wait for opportunity before they feel worthy. But those who attract wealth reverse that process. They feel it first. They embody it. They move through the world as if their goals are already done. And because of that, they magnetize the results others only dream of. When you begin to act as if you're already wealthy, not in arrogance, but in certainty, you begin to vibrate at a higher frequency. You walk with purpose. You speak with clarity. You no longer move out of desperation, but out of intention. You make better decisions, not because you're pretending, but because your mind has accepted a new standard. You are no longer chasing money from lack. You are aligning with it from power. That is the mental difference between the poor mindset and the wealthy one. The poor mind waits to feel worthy. The wealthy mind declares worthiness now, and that declaration opens the gates. This transformation isn't about material things. It's about identity. When you adopt the thoughts, habits, and energy of someone who already has what you desire, you collapse time. You shorten the distance between now and your goal. Every day you must remind yourself, I am not waiting to become wealthy. I am becoming it now, in thought, in language, in action. Because wealth is not outside of you, it begins within you. The faster you shift your identity, the faster reality shifts around you. And when you truly become the magnet, calm, focused, aligned, wealth doesn't need to be hunted. It finds you. It follows you. It reflects you. Because now you're not chasing wealth. You are wealth.